For Wednesdays in the building. Starting late. Alpha's coming on a little bit late, but here we are. Let's go. We got Ball out in the chat right now, and we're just gonna chop it up a little bit. It's gonna be a kind of a low key, mellow show. We got some topics, and it's just we'll see if we go over them or we're just gonna talk shit. Yeah, I started the Zens like let's see, we started the Zens the beginning of season 2. That was like in March or February, end of February. I just started doing them.
Yeah, man. It just seems too convenient. It's almost like vapes, you know?
Yeah,
You
so
do
I,
it.
I, I tell
You
people
do it
if you vape, I say if you vape, try to like, switch to these rather than vaping and then try to get off of these. I don't need to be on these if you want the truth. Like when I was during Ramadan, I was like I just used to take one at night and then it is what it is, two at night at the most and I'll just be fine.
you feel the withdrawal from them if you don't take them.
I don't know. At this point, I've been going fucking ham, so I haven't.
Yeah.
I've been rocking them. The nicotine withdrawal before Ramadan, I would wake up angry. I would wake up like felt like beat up. I think that was a nicotine addiction. That's what they were
Yeah,
telling me.
man. Nicotine is not a fun drug, man. Dude, if I smoke, I'd give it for like 2, 3 days. Boom, I'm hooked. That's the one drug that I can't keep it. I can't keep it near me. Pack of cigarettes, I'll buy one, I'll smoke one, throw out the pack.
Yeah,
It's difficult to control, man, and especially if it's convenient. Like vaping is super convenient. You can do it anywhere. So
yeah. I mean,
it's fun.
the Zens are like another level because it's kind of like you just throw it in and it is what it is. Now, the only thing
It,
that
you
I heard
buy
from
me a little like the got, the cot. What do these guys smoke? The cot, like the Yemenis chew on.
yeah, I know about that. I don't. I think that's nicotine too. It's a tobacco leaf.
Yeah, it's like nicotine lined in cocaine or something.
Is it when we were doing the stream, I would smoke Argila the whole time. I swear.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, I gotta stop. So then I started zenning and smoking Argila at the same time. And I'm like, all right, bro, I gotta cut it out. So I hit my boy up one day. I'm like, yo, come get them all. And he came and picked up all my Argilas, and it was just like I was done. So it's been
Yeah,
since January, really. End of January is when I stopped smoking. I went to the lounge twice, but like if I go to the lounge, it's not a big deal. But I just can't have it at my house,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. No, I'm the same way. Like I'll smoke at a lounge, no problem, because I know I'm not going more than once a month. But if it's at home, there's no way I'm not smoking a few times a week. It
Bro,
sucks.
I was
It
smoking. I
sucks.
was smoking 2, 3 times a day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's
It was
it.
fucking
Yeah, but
disgusting.
you probably had one at the shop too, right? Like you
Hell
have one
no,
at the
hell no,
shop
hell
at
no. I'm
home.
not. No, I just had it
Oh.
at the house, bro. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
that big of
true.
a boater. That would be nasty. If I was in the back smoking and then I had to go in the front. No, no, no.
I
I
gotcha.
thought about it once, but I'm like, no, I can't really do it. But it's been good, man. I went for a 3 mile run today. I'm kind of sick, so I died. But I'm gonna be running
Dude,
all summer. Without running is
I did the Brooklyn half yesterday actually, or Sunday.
oh no way. How was that?
Yeah, it was honestly, dude, it was hard. Look, dude, I was literally running 930 miles, like casual pace, and
Was it 6 miles?
I
Is
just
it is
told
it 12?
myself
Is it 11 miles or six?
13. And I told myself, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna try to do 8 minute miles. Fuck it. Like, I gotta get it in 1:45. And I got it in 1:46. Like, dude, it's like I've never ran 8 minute
So
miles that
you've
consistently.
been working out. Mo said you look good. Like you've been working out.
I run, but I've never done those like that fast of, that pace. So it's just like a lot of mental, to be honest, to get to do like more speed runs and stuff. But it was good, man. It was a nice, a lot of hills, slow, a lot of people, 22,000 people. And dude, you look at some of these guys that the people that got in like the top five. These guys are doing like 5:05 pace. Like that's ridiculous, man. And not even like very small guys. These are like, pretty average sized guys doing 5:05 pace. It's crazy. Like they're doing 13 miles in an hour and 5 minutes. It's crazy,
That's
man. Some of
wild.
these guys are
That's
just
fucking. That just made me feel like shit, to be honest.
yeah,
I
dude.
mean,
Trust me, man. You run past these guys and you get humbled real quick.
they're older guys. When people who do that kind of stuff, they're in the game. Like they never
Yeah,
stop.
no, they've been doing it their whole life. Then you got your like, man, the crazy shit is you'll see like 70-year-olds. I'm not even like 75, 80-year-olds doing this, and you're just like, dude, what excuse do other people have? Come on. And these guys are on their like 50th half marathon, 50th marathon. It's cool to see that, man. You got people like that old and still going at it like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good. I'm gonna have a good 3 4 months of just. I got some new shoes, got some new workout stuff, and
Yeah.
normally like I was smoking on Tequila for a minute now. You know the truth. I used to run like I would smoke it like 3 times, especially in Arizona with Ahmed.
Yeah.
I would be we would smoke like 2 3 times a day, and I would be smoking. And I would go for like a 4 or 5 mile run, 4 or 6 mile run, and I would come back and I would like not stop. Now I'm like kind of excited to be okay. I'm not smoking. I'm gonna be working out, running, and I'm gonna try to get my lungs back, and I'll see how fast I can get back to
Yeah.
my my normal
Yeah.
paces and stuff like that. Because it's like when you get older, bro, it makes the biggest difference.
Oh, for sure, man. And the thing is, when you run and smoke, you're just running to kind of get back to baseline all the time. You're
Yeah,
not really, you know what I mean? Like if I smoke and then I'll run the next day, I'm just running to get my lungs cleared up of whatever junk I got in them the day before. But it's not like you're not gonna make improvements on a conditioning standpoint like that, you know?
yeah. Like
Some people can, and I can't personally.
I knew it was bad when I was in the sauna like earlier in the year, like last year, and I was like breathing in to freshen up my lungs so I can go and smoke and be clear. And I knew at that point it's all I should probably cut it out.
Yeah,
It
you're
was
just
bored.
trying to clear them up.
Yeah, I
You're
was just
trying to clear them up to get a bigger hit, huh?
yeah, just to make sure that my lungs stay good. But at the end of the day, I've always been a runner, so my lungs are straight. I hope. But once I get back into it, we'll be good to go. I even pop the Zens and I'll go for a run sometimes. So I think I'll be good without them. Like I'm not really like I can stop doing anything if you want the truth. I definitely have a addictive personality, but like I think they say I'm a narcissist. So it's like nothing. I don't think anything's better than me. So
Yeah, I mean, most narcissists won't admit to that, so I'm a little skeptical, but yeah, whatever you want to twist up.
that's what they call me narcissist. I'm like, bro, I'm not a narcissist. But when people tell me that, I'm like, bro, okay, I'll run with it. But I don't think I am. But
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've met like a sheriff pharmacist, narcissist in the workplace, and I don't know. You don't really seem like I've seen some crazy narcissism, bro. So it's sickening.
what do you like? Give it like how like because they don't take no for an answer. Or they just straight like hard headed type
No,
stuff.
there's people who literally believe the world revolves around them. Whenever they're talking, it's just and treat everybody else like shit. Gigantic egos, don't really empathize with people. It's I'm sure you've met a few in your lifetime.
I don't. Yeah, you're right. I definitely have. So I don't know if
Spectrum of narcissism. You probably got your straight up psychopaths on one end, and then you got your kind of self centered.
that's that doctor talk, doctor spectrum. Talking about that doctor talk on the spectrum.
No, I mean it's probably they come in all shapes and forms, all shapes and forms of narcissism.
Oh, yeah. We got Alpha just joined. Alpha's in the building right now. So what we're gonna do right now about what we do is we have a disclaimer for the show that we run right in the beginning of it. So we're about to run the disclaimer again. So let me just go on here. In order for everybody to hear it, I have to kind of
Are you gonna
switch.
play this stupid? Are you gonna play your stupid bot?
Yeah, we're playing the disclaimer.
Your bot sucks, dude.
Hang on.
Get it? Make it sound more manly. Make it sound more manly.
What's the
Welcome to Alpha Wednesdays. Our discussions are purely for fun and learning. No claims, no exposés. Just spirited dialogue for your entertainment. Enjoy the show. This is way too.
Yeah,
It's too right. It's too welcoming, you know. Like it's like a
it's like you're
Walmart
about to
greeter
be sold
version of
something
me.
in 2 minutes.
Exactly. It's just I don't know.
I could so I so
Hey, how much you said you pay $50 a month for that bot?
with all my AI stuff, it's like I just look at it as whatever. I put it in. The Alphabot, this is the version 2 Alphabot. This one sounds way better.
It sounds better. It's just that it has there's a
Well, you guys listen. You
there's
guys want it.
there's an obsequious undertone to the bot, and that it's like it's way too amenable to like whatever it's when it's speaking. It's kind of cringe. Like it needs to have a little bit more edge. Like it needs to give less of a fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this was the disclaimer. Last time we had the long disclaimer. Everybody hates the long one, so we had to make a short one. So we got the short one out. The Alphabot's more for like when we have articles, we put them on, and he'll introduce the next topic or subject, things like that.
What does this say? Have you given up on humanity? I
Yeah.
never had hope for humanity to begin with.
All right, Alpha, you can start it off. So, Alpha, you've given up on humanity. You've never had hope in humanity. What you're saying?
No, I don't view myself as being part of a greater consciousness.
So,
Like I view myself as part of like a I view myself as basically part of like a sort of like Arabic consciousness, and like a sort of like in a loose way connected to like an American consciousness. But beyond that, I don't like look at humanity as like something that I necessarily put like my mindset into, because it's just too much going on out there.
So you're more like a, what do you say? You're more like a nationalist. Like you're more like in just you have humanity for the Arab community. Nobody else. Like it's kind of your own kind type of stuff.
It's more like I said, like it's a consciousness thing. As far as like a humanity thing, like I just don't like I don't try to put myself like I can't like really understand like the like the Chinese, for example. They got too much lived history that I don't care to understand. And or like Indians, for example. I don't have like a shared consciousness with those kinds of people. Like, do I recognize like they're human beings or whatever? Like, yeah, but I don't know. It's like I don't like vest I don't invest my I don't invest my hopes into them. I should say that. So like, that's why I haven't given up on anybody. Like I never had hope. I don't like vest my hope into people I don't like, types of people that I don't know and don't really well understand.
So like you're not gonna like you're not a concerned citizen. So you're not gonna go out your way to like kind of help somebody out if they're in need. Like if you see someone on the side of the road, you can just pass by.
Those that's not related to having hope in humanity. Like, well, I feel, can I empathize with people? Like, yeah, I can really empathize with anybody. But it's like the question is, have I given up on humanity? And it's just like I never had hope for humanity to begin with, because I don't like run around investing trust and like taking the time and the energy to like put my hopes, cultures, and countries that I don't understand. And so like I don't have like hope for humanity in that way. It's just too broad of a question to begin with. Like, what do you mean by hope? Like,
A lot of people now they
what
just
does it say? Yeah.
have you given up?
Given up on
A lot
humanity.
of people like the younger generation too that I speak to. A lot of them they're like they think that any gen is kind of in the wrong, and they don't really care about like they think that in reality a lot of it sounds like anarchy. Like a lot of them they don't care.
You're jumping around too much. So here's the thing. I don't really think that anybody views themselves as being part of it. Like they don't think of themselves like, yeah, I'm like Gen Z, and then they like form their whole worldview based on that. It's just like different people look at different, like they get their, like for example, like Gen Z gets like their news from social media, right? Like do you open up the New York Times to get your news, or like where do you get your news from?
Tim Pool, shout out Tim Pool.
Okay, I mean that's pretty sad that you actually do that. Which explains like your generally warped worldview, and like very poor understanding for like a lot of stuff that's not like basically weird right wing fascism stuff. You know, like most people I think that are under the age of like maybe 40 get their news from social media. Like they don't necessarily like turn on cable news and watch TV. And
I
so like their worldview is going to be way different from people who like get their news from TV broadcasts.
Depending on my schedule, depending on what I have going on. Right now is a block where I'm really not on anything. It's hard for me to even come up with the topics and all that because I'm really like it's really from the morning to the end. I'm just nonstop doing stuff. So it's like I don't have time for like my extra bullshit that I used to just kind of like, well, let me just put this podcast on, let me put this on. I really, unfortunately, right now it's not the time. A couple more weeks, I'll free up, so I'll start. That's why it was hard today. I'm like, man, I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Not that I don't know what to talk about, but it's like, there's some people who like they've been giving me critique. This one person in particular who's saying, "Oh, stick on things that you know about." Like, I'm pretty sure everything we talk about is like I have some grasp of like the TikTok, like he brought up the TikTok. We don't know about TikTok. We don't know about whatever else last week's topic was. They were saying we need to just focus more on things that we know more about, and I'm like, it was kind of insulting.
What
You're like
happened?
you're not like addressing anything I said. You're just going to talking about stuff that you want to talk about instead. So like, what's the point of this conversation?
What did you ask me? You asked me what did
I
I
can't
watch
even
for
remember.
news. You asked me what news did I watch. I
Yeah,
answered the
yeah.
news question. I said I'm not watching the news right now like that because I just don't have time. I really don't have time to be on Twitter. I'm out on my
So
phone
like
like
you know everything about Diddy and like everything to do with like what happened with Diddy, but you don't watch the news.
okay, Diddy was about a month ago. Like I told you, my schedule switches. Sometimes I'm in the game. Sometimes I'm out. During the Diddy time, I was in the algorithms. Now I'm just kind of like I'm not in the algorithm. I didn't even know about the protests like that, to be honest. You guys
What
had,
algorithm? You do like the Twitter algorithms?
yeah, like the news cycles. And we've been posting those clips and,
You're still not answering the question. So, like, if you do get news, where do you get it from?
Twitter used to be
Right.
my number one source for sure. If I
What
get
Okay,
is?
so you get your news primarily from social media. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is that would make, even though that you're a millennial in generation, official generation, you would share a lot more in common and worldview with like somebody who would call themselves a Gen Z than you would with somebody who calls himself like a Boomer or Gen X, because those latter two will primarily get their news from cable news.
but
Or if they're like particularly like intellectual, they get their news from like New York Times or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people now they get this stuff from social media. There's probably like a small now demographic who are still watching the news.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
wait, because
older people.
you think the older population like primarily is relying on cable TV for their news?
I would say, yeah, and I think that's reflected in a lot of their opinions.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I
the,
would
this
imagine a lot of them are on Facebook. I mean, probably not Twitter, but they're pretty big on their Facebook.
you'd be surprised. Well, like I said, we said before on the stream that I know a lot of older people now when they get on TikTok, TikTok became their number one app fast, and they're old. They're like 60s, and they're literally in their 60s. So
Yeah, that's fine that you have like anecdotal evidence, but what I'm saying is that like I bet you the majority of users on TikTok are under 40.
I
Like
think
more than half.
I think the ban was officially happened because at the end of the day they understood, hey, it's not just kids anymore on here. We've passed that. The adults, the metrics are there. You could see analytics. They probably won't post them, but the analytics are there. So I think that a big older demographic was on it, and that was a big contributor to what get them out of here.
I think that it was mostly because they realized that they had lost control over the narrative with young people. And so they had to go ahead, because the young people have very starkly different views from the older generation. And there is such a huge gap and like such a huge discrepancy. And for example, like the way that they view the Israel Palestine stuff, in order for them to get any sort of control over the way that people think, they feel that they have to ban TikTok, even though that's not going to help them out, because basically you can't really control social media
Yeah.
like that. No matter how much you try to control it, like you can try and game the algorithm all you want, people are still going to see what they want to see.
If I didn't follow you on Twitter,
Probably gonna make it work.
I wouldn't have saw the protests.
I think that's because you fundamentally don't care about them.
I searched it on my phone. No, I searched. What do you mean? I looked at the top all the news. It wasn't on the on any of my bottom lines.
I think it's because you probably get all of your, like you said, you probably get like most of your information from watching Tim Pool podcasts, and like you've been convinced there that like peaceful protests against genocide are like George Soros evil stuff. Basically.
No, that's not. But the question was,
that's probably what you actually believe.
The question was, have you given up on humanity? Alpha said he never had hope for humanity. He was never like a person who like
I mean, this is
cared
very
for it.
philosophical. I mean, but
It's a really
just to
broad
touch
question.
on what Alpha was saying, it's interesting because there is a very stark difference in the way the Gen Z thinks about these topics and your boomer population. But I think that part of that isn't necessarily just where they're getting their news. I think that fundamentally, like their behaviors are just different. The way these people are wired is different because my belief is that, you look at some of these polls, and I'll just use the Israel-Palestine conflict as an example, and you look at the, overwhelming support. If you look at the support for Palestine, it's like, the youth are heavily supporting Palestine versus the elderly population or more pro-Israel. I really think if you just take a step back, it has more to do with like authority. I think the Gen Z population is very anti-authority because they're so self-centered in a I think a positive way, to be honest. Like they're less likely to fall into this like kind of like cult mentality. I don't know. That's kind of my
So you think
thoughts on it.
you think that they're more nihilistic?
Not more nihilistic. I think they're just less likely to be
Like adopt a herd
not that they're
mentality.
more independent. Not that they're more independent. They're just less likely to like buy into a narrative about like, oh, let's go to war with these people, because like if you think about like national, like they're less nationalistic in that sense. Does that make
Right.
sense?
I think
But
it's because they're exposed to so many different arguments.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah. That's part of it. I think it's part of it. It's part of it.
versus like the
But
older gen, it's like I don't know how old you are. I'm in my mid 30s, so I remember a
yeah.
time. I remember a time before the internet. So back in like I don't know, like think around like the 9/11 times, there was one narrative, and that was a narrative that was on TV.
Hmm.
Now you get online and you have any narrative that you want. It's at your
Hmm.
fingertips, and not only is it there, but it's professional and it's well built up. Pretty much anything that you could conceivably want, anything that suits your fancy. Like there's nothing. It's just it's far more fragmented, and for better for worse, right? So like
Yeah.
it's just so it's impossible to establish consensus in that kind of environment. I think you can
Which is
try it. You can
good.
try it by
Which is
force.
good. Which I think is a positive because
Um,
you're not, there's not going to be one prevailing narrative. Multiple competing narratives. I think is healthy.
Yeah, listen,
yeah,
I agree
for
with
better for
Bala.
worse.
These guys are nihilistic. These younger gen, they have no morals, they have no beliefs, and they don't they have no. I just
I
found
don't
out what
know.
nihilistic means.
I think they have morals, beliefs, and ethics, Abe. It's just that for some reason you just really hate the younger generation. I don't understand
I
what it
fuck
is.
with the youth. What are you talking about? I fuck with the youth heavy,
You
heavy.
you fuck with the youth heavy that have no. So you just like people without morals and like without ethics and without any sort of beliefs.
I understand people, so I just
Right, because you have no morals, ethics, or beliefs. Yeah,
It's
got
a
it.
hundred
Okay.
percent opposite. If I understand a person and I get who they are, then I'll like you. I'll accept you. But if I have to be like, oh, who is this guy? What is he about? And have to like double take, I'll just kind of push my way out of here. I'm like, but if I know you're these types of people, I'll know how to deal with you. I'll know how to work with you. I'll know how to like, what will trigger you, what won't trigger you, what to say, what not to say around you.
What are you saying? They don't have like identity, or what do you?
Well, a lot of them are having identity crises for sure, but I think every youthful person has that. It's a natural thing to do when you're younger and you're growing.
Yeah, like explore different parts of yourself.
Yeah, but I think we're to the point where I've seen a lot of lost confidence. It's more indecisive and it's more I'm afraid to get older. Like I'm more willing
Hmm.
to be a young person for as
Hmm.
long as I possibly can. And that's kind of our generation's fault because a lot of people from our generation refuse to get older and they refuse to, they were ashamed of their age. Not us over here. We're 33 and me. That's what we used to be called that.
I
No,
think you're painting a broad brush over a lot of people that I don't. I think that your sample size is very limited.
No, I don't look.
Like,
I
to say
believe
categorically that all of Gen Z has a crisis of confidence and identity, it's
I
like come on, dude.
I believe there's about seven different types of people in the world, seven or eight. So when I say that, I'm saying that about two out of the seven, two out of the eight are probably having that, and then typically it's about 1 or 0.5%. But now I think it's a bigger. So I don't want to categorize them all, but I'm saying it's a bigger percentage.
This just doesn't even make sense mathematically. So is it two out of eight, or is it 0.5%?
0.5% is a typical. It's a typical like
You know that
rate.
that's not 2 out of 8, right? That's like 2 out of 8. It's like 24%
So
or some shit like that,
0.5% is a typical of what every generation faces of their identity
or twenty five
crisis.
percent literally.
Yeah, but that was on the spectrum of a normal generation. I think this new coming up generation, it's about 2 out of 8 people instead of the half the 0.5 that it normally used to be. Everybody has that's just my opinion.
So, hey, why don't you talk more about your like? I saw your unhinged rant yesterday about your Amazon customer. Why don't you talk some more about that?
Oh, that was digital. That was scripted. That was scripted. That wasn't real. But yeah, we do shows over here. So like you
I
said,
don't think it
we
was
have the
scripted.
alpha.
You were like
We got Alpha Wednesday.
you were like way too upset
We got
for that
Alpha.
to be scripted.
We got many different shows. We got Alpha Wednesdays. We got the live stream show. We got the therapy sessions we do sometimes. So yeah, that was all script. That was AI. That voicemail. But yeah, we can talk about it. I saw a couple weeks ago like an article about the returns and the
So that
scammers.
was
So
just that
made
was just an act.
yeah I made a story up. I made a show up about it. So I kind of revolved it around it.
What made you select that?
Because it's I saw it was a trending topic. I said, okay, you know what? Let me hit that. And then we went and I kind of made a show around it. But yeah, you know, that we kind of snapped we had to edit it out a couple different things. It was gonna be a longer rant, but you know, they kind of stopped me. They kind of told me to tone it down. They called me, said, "Yo, chill it out, end the stream." So I kind of cut it out, and we just went to Warzone for that one. Bala, did you see the Unhinged stream, the therapy session?
No, what was it?
You must have missed that one. I don't think I sent
No,
that in the group chat, to be honest.
no, I only know the Wednesday ones
Yeah, I forgot to send that one to you. I'll send that to you for
for sure.
It's basically Abe raging for 15 minutes about a guy that returned merchandise and then apparently threatened him with a bad review if he didn't accept the refund.
yeah,
Did
and
he, did you have given him the refund?
absolutely I gave him the refund. Absolutely I
The
gave him the refund.
customer's always right, huh?
You know, you got to play that game. The customer is always right for sure. So we don't. It wasn't about
Unless you're Gen Z.
it wasn't about the refund. It was more about that I don't even like selling products on that brand site. I really don't. So if I have to do that, it's because it's either a sellout, it's a busy season, I can't get a hold of what I need to get a hold of. So I send them something that's, in my opinion, is a better quality. It's a more luxury brand. And I send it to him. And for him to call me, and he's getting it at such a cheap price, for him to call me, lie, complain about the quality, just so he can get a $20 refund, it was just insulting.
How did an Amazon customer call you?
Because when I do that, it's very rare that I do that. But when I do that, I put a note on their bag and I say, hey, if there's any issues, give me a call. Now let me tell you something. This AI person,
Was there an issue with him or not?
he didn't listen. He didn't say, if this was a guy. I've had people who say, you know, I only wear that brand. So when I do that, I'm like, I respect it. If that's the only brand you're gonna rock, that's fine. The AI guy, he didn't even say the brand right. Like he didn't sit there and say, like he completely just said a completely wrong brand that he was supposed to get, and he just said the other brand just so he can get a refund.
That doesn't even make sense.
So he ordered.
Was he returning what you sold him or not?
He didn't return it. I told him he can return it. Like, just send it back to me. I'll give you a full refund. I don't, you know, it's no big deal. It happens all the time with Amazon, literally all the time. But he didn't want a refund. He wanted $20 off, and he made a story up X, Y, and Z about it. So, you know, then we kind of unleashed on the stream, had a little therapy session, and then, you know, Monday was a cloudy day. I don't know what's going on in Detroit, but it was pretty cloudy over here.
On Monday?
Hey, what would you do if you do tailoring, right, at your shop?
Yeah, we do that.
What would you do if you tailor something? The guy comes back 6 months later and says, yeah, you know, the hem came apart. You need to redo this for free. Would you do it, or would you
all the
recharge
time, all the time.
So let me tell you about my tailor.
That doesn't happen all the time, but I will do it all the time.
Dude, so I have this tailor. This guy's got the worst customer service. I don't even know why I go back to him. And this guy did my pants. And then I took some more jeans to take, you know, to get shortened. And then I brought back the pants because the bottom of them came apart. And he looks at me. He's like, are you trying to scam me? And he's like, I didn't do this. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't do this? This is your work. You're literally the first and only tailor I've ever been to. And he's like, no, I know my work. This is garbage work. I'm like, you literally did this for me 3 months ago. And this guy wouldn't fix them. I'm like, bro, like I just got gaslit by my fucking tailor, bro. He was like trying to convince me. He's like, no, you must have went somewhere else. You're forgetting. Like, this isn't my work. I was like, come on, man.
Did you drop the guy though? Did you drop him?
Yeah, no, I mean, I basically, he already had my pants, the other ones. So I told him, like, I'm not gonna go back to him after that, bro. He's just like the most convenient one. So I'm just like, I'll deal with it, but I'm not going back to him after that.
You know who's like also notoriously just fucking hard to work with are barbers. I feel like you can never find a good barber that's like stable over a long period of time. It's like they're always gonna eventually they're just always gonna drift. They're gonna, like, first they'll start off cutting your hair really well, and once they get to know you, they'll start, like, you know, taking shortcuts, you know, like not doing what they're supposed to do, and then you kind of just feel bad like confronting them about it after a while, because it's like they talk to you and they kind of become your friend in like some kind of weird way after a while. And eventually you just have to like get away from them.
Yeah, it's a weird relationship with barbers for sure.
Yeah. After the pandemic, it became 10 times harder to get a haircut consistently, for me at least. Like, it sucks.
It's hard. It's hard to find a good barber that's consistent. You're right.
Also in a small town, Abe, so it's like probably is.
I've drove. I don't know. I
The
drive,
pool
bro.
isn't deep.
I'll drive 45, 50 minutes to get my haircut. Even my other barbers in the other cities, they're like, I don't know what happens with Arab barbers, but they always beef with each other. So like when I go to this guy, then I call him, yo, Omar doesn't work here anymore. And then Omar works there again 2 months later. They'll be like, yo, Omar's eyes hurt. He retired. So like this happened 2 different times. So it's kind of like it was just too much. I don't even want to call back to see if Omar's back, but I gotta find somebody.
You usually see that when it's like one guy owns the place and he's renting out like the seat to the other guy, and then the other guy like starts feeling a certain way because the guy's taking like 40% of his, 40% of his paychecks. But when you see like joint owners, usually you don't see that type of beef. I don't know, my experience.
Yeah, I mean it's like a parasitical relationship because it's just like, okay, you're paying this guy so you can, honestly, because you could cut hair in a garage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
It's like,
why are
Here,
you taking half my money?
here's the thing. The last haircut I got was in a garage, and I paid a lot of money for it. And to be honest, it was a good haircut, but because you're in a garage, the lighting and all this, I think there was when it started growing, the spots went all the way there. We got Jags in the chat too saying that he stopped gambling on barbers. He cuts his own hair now. So this guy just, I think he goes, he does the buzz with a beard. That's some straight gangster stuff.
I can't pull the buzz off, so I have to go see a
That's
barber.
tough.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
the buzz soon. I'm probably gonna buzz it out soon, to be honest. But I was afraid my hair was gonna be gone.
I doubt you're gonna buzz it.
I can buzz my. I used to buzz my haircut. I used to buzz.
Yeah, like fucking 15 years ago. I very seriously doubt you're gonna do that now.
Oh no way! Breaking news: Ryan Garcia was on PEDs,
What's PEDs?
performance enhancing
Performance
drugs.
enhancing steroids. Does that really surprise you though? Like he came in
He
so
looked
far.
huge.
He came in like, yeah, he came in overweight. Like it was stupid.
Yo,
They shouldn't have let him
I
get the
heard
belt.
this conspiracy that this guy was acting crazy this whole time as a marketing ploy. You guys buy that?
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't be
for
the
sure.
it wouldn't be the craziest thing a boxer's done.
Yeah.
Remember like the Mike Tyson days and shit.
He took the
Like,
Jake Paul route.
Just for the hype? I don't
would
know.
anybody know who this guy was? Would anybody even have cared about that fight if he wasn't just insane on Twitter or whatever he was doing? Probably not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he definitely brought a lot of attention to it for sure.
I mean, it was like, because like usually like the black versus Mexican matchup usually drives a lot of interest, but also because the dude was insane.
Why?
And,
Because they have big fan bases, or?
and no, because like I think both just race war sells. It's just like old. Remember like the that stuff just sells, man. Like just like that kind of like pulling on racial stuff.
Yeah,
People don't talk about it, but it actually does.
No, Ryan Garcia is a big boxer. Right? He's a really good boxer. That fight was going to be good regardless. He did all that. I really believe it's just like if anything that Jake Paul and them did was it kind of showed them like it brought back the social media aspect with boxing as a promo kind of. So now
Yeah, brought back. They started it.
Well, I mean, people used to always do antics before fights, but now not on social media. So like this was kind of like
Social media didn't exist. Yeah, I mean they're leveraging social media. I mean those dudes, the Pauls revolutionized the sport, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? They turned it way more gimmicky. Like the competition aspect, I think, is kind of like it's like secondary to the spectacle almost, because like that dude Ryan Garcia, he missed weight, and people were still treating the fight like it was like this legitimate matchup. He missed weight by a lot actually, and they're still treating it like it was
He was lighter or heavier?
3 pounds heavier.
too heavy.
Which
It doesn't matter if you come in too light, but like he came in 3 pounds too heavy.
Yeah, that was.
He just looked way bigger. He looked bigger than his opponent, and 3 pounds when you're.
So how did he legally? Well, how was he allowed to fight? They just didn't call it off.
He couldn't win the belt.
He paid Devin Haney $1.5 million to fight,
which is nothing in the grand scheme because he still won.
Wow.
And he basically became a household name off of it. And nobody's gonna give a fuck that he used PEDs, honestly. In this day and age, they're not gonna give a shit.
No
this
way.
Is like
no, not bro. Listen, boxing still you can die in the ring. If the news was he was on PEDs, then he might be suspended for a year. To be honest, he might not box again. He might not box for a while. If it's true.
Yeah, I mean, when he comes back, it's gonna be the same shit.
I don't know. That's a very very. We gotta do more research on that. But if the source we have, AZ put the source in there, and he's a credible source, so I'll trust that for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think that.
You see, what's his name? Logan
Where are you
Paul.
guys seeing this chat, by the way? Is it the general chat or is there another?
The chat is on Twitch. So you have to.
If you go to his Twitch stream and then you look at the chat in the Twitch stream, that's what Abe was referring to. Did you see that? What's his name? Is it one of the Pauls is fighting Mike Tyson which is kind of stupid, honestly. Like why do people keep entertaining that stuff? Like I don't understand, but they do. It's just like I don't know.
It's a free fight. You
And
know,
it,
I think it's done. You know, Jake Paul fought 3 times in the past like year. Nobody watched his fights. Literally, nobody knew he fought. He bought. You know, if anything, they didn't revolutionize the sport. They exposed boxing for what boxing is. It's a very corrupt sport. So when you can handpick your opponents and you can do all this X, Y, and Z, you can really make this show how these guys did it. And I think that's exactly what they did. They literally just handpicked opponents, and then and now this whole Mike Tyson thing. It's a free fight on Netflix. Netflix wants live events now. They just got the WWE next year. How they have this boxing event that's gonna like lead up to their live events program.
WWE is gonna be on Netflix, like live events.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
the Raw is gonna be in 2025. They signed a huge deal with Netflix, so all Raw is gonna be on Netflix. They're asking in the chat, what do I mean by corrupt? Okay, so in boxing, you know, when you handpick opponents, essentially, the promoters, they'll select, okay, you're gonna go against him, you know, it's him, and more likely than not, there's one. It's you know who's gonna win. It's kind of a for sure in. Who's going to win that fight. Now, there's always upsets in boxing, but for the most part, you know, it's a science sport. So you can kind of conduct opponent and matchups. It's science, you know, boxing's a science, it's an art. So if you have that aspect of it, because it's technical, it's a very technical sport. You know,
every sport's like that though.
and then when you have the referee, like if you look at the Ryan Garcia fight, the referee clearly wanted Devin Haney to win. The referee clearly was in favor of Devin Haney and how he refed.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Wasn't,
yes,
dude.
he was.
No, he wasn't. How? Because he deducted a point after he hit him after a breakup.
Yes,
That was actually. I think he was too fair on that one, in my opinion, because like the crowd really did not want that. I understand like the crowd really didn't want that because Ryan Garcia was like the fan favorite because he's more charismatic, etc. But that was actually the right thing to do. If you were actually being fair, you would have deducted a point.
Okay, so Vegas needed Devin Haney to win, or they lost a lot of money. So when the ref knows that, and everybody knows that, the fight, even from the commentators, how the commentators call the fight, it's a very like trick to think who's winning the fight. But Devin Haney hit Ryan Garcia 3 times after the bell, or like when they were needed to break, and he didn't get a
What are you
point to
talking
win.
about, dude? Like I think it was pretty unbiased the way that they were calling the fight, like in my opinion.
The call,
and even then, like
yeah, the commentators
even then, there was
weren't.
only like one. That one guy, the media guy that does his own scorecard, basically came in identical to 2 of the judges. There was one outlier that thought that Ryan Garcia won like by a huge margin, or one of them won by a huge margin. I can't remember because it was a majority decision. So one of them thought that Haney won. 2 of them thought that Ryan Garcia won.
There was a crazy scorecard, crazy scorecard. But the ref, listen, there should have been another knockdown. And if you look at the replays, Haney basically, the ref gave him like 20 seconds to get up from one of the knockdowns. And when Ryan Garcia's, after he knocks him down, the ref gives him like 20 seconds. When Ryan Garcia is going back to attack, because once he's up, he counts to 10, it's go. The ref pushes Ryan back to the corner. To give Haney more time and separation. I've never saw that shit before in my life. So
it's because he fucking hit the guy during a breakup.
That was before.
So
it was after that.
No, dude. The hit before the breakup. I can't remember when that was.
It was 6th round. You know, we streamed the fight. Did you see the stream fight that we did?
No, I did not. I was watching it on my own.
Yeah, I rebroadcasted it. The Ryan Garcia fight. It was epic stream, bro. We did a. People, they want me to commentate sports now. That's what they're saying. But that's some big news right there. Ryan Garcia on PED. We'll see what happens. Maybe he should have just drank some Pathwater. That could have got him where he needed to go. Pathwater, you know, it's a stream sponsor. We've been rocking it all season 2. It's hydrating me right now. It's cooling me off. It's giving me some juice.
Just drink tap water or something. Or get like a water filter. Drink water from your fridge.
Pathwater. Well, we got, you know, they're a stream sponsor. You know, they're hooking us up with water this season. So we got.
Why do you pay so much money? Why do you pay so much money?
Is it an aluminum can?
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude's getting
scammed, bro. Disgusting.
He's getting scammed. He's actually paying for water in an aluminum can.
Stream sponsor, baby.
Dude, just get a water filter. Get free water, dude.
I have the black cans are the alkaline water.
What is that doing for you exactly? I guess we have a doctor on stream. So like, what does alkaline water do for you?
Look, I mean, do I think it actually has, not that I've actually researched this, but do I think it has tangible benefits? Probably not. Does it taste good?
Yeah.
It tastes pretty good. But do I think that you have to maintain an alkaline body in order to fight off diseases? I mean, I don't know if there's any evidence to support that.
Dr. CB.
But
There is
Abe will pay like $2.50 a can for that. How much is that? What is it called? Pathwater? Let's check how much it costs.
The chat's saying I got scammed.
You're getting scammed.
Listen, guys. Ever since I started drinking
$28
Pathwater,
for a pack of 9. Oh my lord, dude! Dude, stop buying that right now.
It's a stream sponsor. Listen, guys. When I say stream sponsor, we get hooked up over here. And
no, you do not, bro. You paying $dollars a can? Oh my fucking
how
god!
much is it? How much
dude,
is it?
Stop it! Exactly. You don't even know. Stop it. Dude. Just drink.
Get
a water.
This is a ball out question. This is a ball out question.
I will buy you a water filter. I'll give you my old water filter. You just stop wasting your money.
You know what the best part about this is?
How many of those do you drink a day?
I've been on a water fast.
You probably drink like 3 of those a day, bro. You probably pay like $9 a day on water.
Send me the Twitch invite.
Okay. Let me find that.
If you're drinking like 3 of these bottles a day in order to like stay sustained for your life, you're spending like $3,300 a year on water.
Yeah, but come on, like people have worse vices. Like, come on.
But listen, guys. The point of this
but on
bottle,
on water, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's just the ultimate scam.
It is a scam, but people go spend $3-4 on a can of soda. Like, so if
here's the thing, Bala. Here's the thing. I understand that, but like water is water. You know what I'm saying? It's like not an addiction. Like people are addicted to caffeine. Like I spend money on caffeine that I shouldn't spend. Like people are addicted to nicotine, etc. I understand like paying for the addiction aspect, but it's just water. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just like whether he drinks his own water from if he gets from like a filter in the tap, it's the same shit. Like it's just an easy fixes.
No, I get it. It's definitely a scam, but like
it's not a scam. Let me break some. Let me break some.
He's over here googling. He's googling why he needs to drink his alkaline water for $3 a can.
Let me break some news
down. Let it out, Abe. Let it out.
We got. I'm gonna say what I've said, and we got a question for Ball from the chat. First of all, guys, this is an aluminum can, right? This is meant to be refilled. So when I finish one path, I'm not gonna just throw it like a plastic bottle. I'm gonna refill this a couple different times. This was a fresh one.
With what?
I have a water filter. I have two. I have a six thing water filter, and I got like a.
Okay, so you're not insane.
I got gallons. Okay. I got gallons at the store that we have a Gordon food thing in the back. We got hooked up. Somebody who was on the stream sent us it. So.
Oh, you got a water cooler, you mean?
We got a water cooler for sure.
Okay, so you're not actually insane. I thought you were actually like that's all the water you drink. That's what I was gonna say. Like it's crazy. Like especially for somebody that doesn't have car registration on their car. Like it's actually insane.
All right. Let's stay on for topic. So here's the question. We got a question. He goes, doesn't your body regulate pH levels regardless of what you eat or drink?
Yeah, I mean, like unless you have some type of disease like renal disease or something, kidney disease. It's like taking vitamins, right? Like 95% of them, you're probably going to piss them out. It's the same thing with alkaline water, I believe. Your body's going to regulate it, whether you're drinking acidic water or alkaline. Now, if you're doing that, if you're drinking like an astronomical amount where your body can't keep up, at a rate at which your body can't excrete it, probably. But yeah, that's why I don't really buy into the whole idea of drinking alkaline water to keep your body alkalytic so that it can fight off diseases. I don't know. I honestly haven't looked into it, but I don't know of any evidence.
Dr. Bala,
I've heard people making very strong claims though about it.
You've been in the game too long. You've been in the hospital too long. We got to get you out of there, man. I told you last time I was on the call with you. We got to get you out of the hospital.
Bala, that medical degree and that residency that you've done, just burn it. Listen to the guy on the internet.
I sent you the doc, bro. I sent you the doc. I sent you that doc.
Listen to this guy with this like.
I'll say this as more of a general thing. I believe that there is. I used to be much more skeptical about a lot of more like herbal medicine and non-traditional Eastern medicine. But I honestly think there is a role for it. like to kind of bridge Eastern and Western medicine. But I think the problem is people make too strong of claims. Like something may help, but they'd make way too strong of a claim about it, and then
I
you
mean,
just
what do you think from? Give an example, because I'm kind of curious. Like, what from like the is it the homeopathic?
like
Is that what it's called?
yeah. Like I don't know, like what's it like? I don't know, like a cayenne pepper or what's that stuff called that people take for inflammation?
Turmeric.
Cayenne, turmeric, right?
Turmeric
Like,
works.
like yeah,
Turmeric,
like
okay, it works for sure.
no, that
Because I
doesn't
took
mean it works. It works. But people make very, very, very strong claims about it where like they would literally like stop seeing they would have like some type of autoimmune um
yeah, that's just
disease
dumb.
or something and they would just stop taking their medications because they want to treat it with turmeric.
Right,
So
right.
like there's
Because like
always a
turmeric
try
is
and
like there's still like a biological basis like for why
yeah,
turmeric works, and like they would
yeah,
like in the pharmaceutical industry that they would take an extract of that and then put it in a pill and then do a bunch of
yeah.
studies and then market it the same way that like fucking hippie guy with long dreads would say like, hey, this is gonna like cure your gout or some shit, right? It's just more
Yeah, I
steps.
mean,
It's just more steps in like the medical route.
yeah, it's more steps, but it's also more regulated, right? And there's also more data for, not to say that it works better, but there's just more data, right? Like how many great trials do you have of randomized trials using herbs? It's very, very little. And it doesn't mean they don't work. We just don't know. And you got to remember who's funding these trials, who's designing these trials, right? So like, unless you have like a market for a company to or the government to profit off something, either to reduce by preventing disease or selling by, creating a drug that treats or cures a disease, you're not really going to get people investing to design and run these trials because they take an enormous amount of resources and money, right? So I think there are a lot of herbal medicines that probably have great value we just don't know about. And some of these things we just can't prove. And I think the
Right. So
biggest
there's a gap in the industry because the medical regulated industry is profit driven, and if something's profit driven, it doesn't necessarily mean that public health in general is number one priority. And so like these like homeopathic sort of solutions can kind of fill an existing gap.
Yeah, I think they can fill an existing gap. It just needs to be regulated more, and you also have to, ensure that you have authorities that aren't making too strong of claims, and it's still evidence driven. I'll use an example. And I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of this with psychedelics. Look at what's happening with psychedelics right now. 10, 15 years ago, nobody was talking about this. Right now, it's one of the hottest things in psychiatry, right? And for better or worse, the fact that now it's a $1 billion industry, and you have all of these corporate companies dumping an enormous amount of money running these trials and all of this. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because yes, it's going to lead to more discoveries and it's going to lead to the widespread use and giving patients different types of treatments. But at the same time, they're kind of capitalizing on that, and they're kind of gaming it and making it all about the money. Right now, it's like a competition to find, between different corporations to develop the best type of, psilocybin or whatever it is, LSD. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? Whenever you get the corporations and industries involved. And I think you're seeing that now with psychedelics. I think that's a good example. But yeah, if you guys look into some of that literature, there's people, using psilocybin to cure depression, randomized trials shows that it works, cure alcoholism. It's really like crazy the results you're seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
these guys, it's just it's and but then you have your people that like just don't want to believe it too. Like, there's enormous resistance from the psych community too, right?
So let me
Because
ask you something real quick
yeah.
before. So like for example, and this is just how I understand stuff, right? So like you're depressed because it's not you, but somebody in general, they would be depressed because their brain doesn't make enough of a happy chemical, right? Dopamine,
Mhm.
whatever. I don't know what it is
I mean,
called.
it's
So
a simplistic way to put it, but yeah.
Yeah. So I know, but I'm doing it just because like this is how
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand. So and then
Yeah.
so if I take a psilocybin, let's say habitually for 6 months, will my happy chemicals then come in line with a normal non-depressed person, or is it
Yeah.
just like, or is it like does
It's
it
not
like
like
alter
an
my brain
it's
chemistry?
Yeah, it's not like an absolute thing, right? It's not like an absolute thing where like you need a certain number of chemicals in order to feel happy, and if you have a deficiency, you're not happy, right? If you go look at like SSRIs don't really increase your serotonin, right? They really don't. There's never been any studies that showed that, SSRIs increase the amount of serotonin in your brain, like the absolute amount, right?
Right.
Nobody really knows how these drugs actually work. Now, if you talk about psychedelics, there's a lot of different theories, but one of the theories is that it creates different connections between different parts of your brain, and parts of your brain that have been dormant for a while, it kind of wakes them up. But it really is kind of connecting regions of your brain that weren't talking with each other. It kind of increases those connections and increases the crosstalk. And
Right. So
for
rather than
whatever
like
reason,
increasing a variable in an equation, you're changing the entire variable, or you're changing the entire equation.
you're basically increasing. If you think about it, like one of the theories is think about it in the term of entropy, right? Like, and if you think about depression and you think about it as a lack of entropy, right? You're very rigid. That's why people that are depressed have OCD tendencies. They're very rigid in their thinking, right? They're kind of ruminate on the same thing all the time. So think about psychedelics as a drug that comes in and kind of breaks apart that rigidity, and it increases the entropy in your brain basically. And so by doing that, your brain becomes a little more malleable, and now you can cope with things a little better, right? You're not so rigid in your thinking. That's kind of the best theory that I've come across, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Right. Okay, so it's like less ones and zeros, more like restructuring the way people think in a sense.
Yeah, it's like a chemical form of like cognitive behavior therapy.
Yeah,
Like
I get
and so
you.
like people go through therapy, they talk through things, and it changes their brain by talking through them. Well, you could take it's a chemical pharmaceutical form of that, right? A chemical form of doing that, where you kind of just increase the malleability of your brain.
Uh,
Let me ask you guys then. So,
re-
do you guys
Real quick,
have you guys used?
did we just
Hold on.
explain
Let me just
did we just
let me just
explain to
ask this question real quick.
Alpha what depression was? Alpha, you really went alpha bot on us right now. Go ahead, go with your question.
I was asking an illustrative questions for my own understanding, but you can try to stoke meaningless beefs if you want. But here's my other question. So, have you guys taken? Do you think there's any sort of like substance or anything, or any sort of like food or any type of, I don't know, like herbal thing that you guys have taken in your everyday life that you think have had like a, let's say like like sort of like the same effect as like a psilocybin would have on a depressed person? Like, do you think like your brain would be different had you not, like, if you didn't take as much caffeine, or if, like, I don't know, like, have you had your own like psychology change in a drastic way by what you eat, or like the kind
Yeah,
of like stuff that you might
I
take?
can give you my examples.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went out for a run today in the sun, and the sun hitting me charged me up, changed my mentality, made me feel more relaxed, more calm, and it just helped me out significantly. Also, what I do in the winter is, you guys talking about the turmeric. I invented a tea called Zap tea, where we put a shot of ginger, turmeric, of juice into it, and then we get some tea, heat it up, and then we get some turmeric ginger tea, heat that up, and then we take that. That has stopped me from getting sick for 2 years now. I was sick for after the pandemic, and when what's it called, everything got rolling. I was sick 11 times in 1 year. COVID 3 times. Once I started Zap T, I was good.
So you refuse to get vaccinated.
It's not the
Like, no wonder you got
conversation.
sick.
It's not the
No wonder
conversation.
you got sick from COVID
It's
like
not.
18 times.
Let's not use that word for the algorithm. That's my example. Ball out. What you got? You got anything for?
I mean, it's a great question. I've seen changes in my personal life by more of a reductionist, when I remove certain things more than added them. To be honest,
But to the
like
extent that, like, let's say for example, like, have you, let's say, have you removed anything that would change you from like the like, because to me, like, depression is pretty serious, and like
Yeah.
going from depressed to not depressed, that's like really high magnitude behavioral shift.
Yeah.
Like does your guys' own, I'm asking, like, does your own body respond to, let's say, like internal or like just like stimuli from outside with that great of a magnitude, or do you guys think that you're a little bit more resistant to that kind of stuff, or like?
I think everyone has a baseline level, right? And it's very dependent on, so many things, genetics, childhood, environment, right? And I think there are people that eat like shit, smoke cigarettes all day, and their brain chemistry is just genetically incredible, and they're just very resistant to things. And then there's definitely people on the opposite side of that spectrum, right? But I do think from personal experience, I'll say the one thing that's been consistent in my life that has that's been consistent and definitely has brought me out of anything, essentially, is running. I really think you could change brain chemistry by doing that, and there's definitely some evidence to support that.
What about like lifting weights and stuff? Because I've
Yeah,
had a similar experience with weights.
yeah, and I think the most important thing is consistency too, right? Like
Yeah, of course.
doing something very consistent every day, no matter what it is. I think it's gonna change your brain chemistry over time. I mean, our brains are highly, highly malleable. So, when I brought up the psychedelic thing, because I think it's not gonna change it. You can't, like, no drug, nothing, no chemical, caffeine, but none of it's gonna change it on its own, right? But there are some people that are so stuck in their ways that they really kind of need a shock to the system in order to start building those habits to rewire their brain using behavioral techniques, either running or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I see it, both based on, like, the little science I know about it and just anecdotally from my own personal experience.
I think too. You said a word, the illumination, rumination. That's a big component, and I think when you're running, it's a distraction. When you're lifting, it's a
Yeah,
distraction. When you shock your brain, you could distract, because a lot of times when the depression comes in, is because people are was it ruminating or is it illuminating with the
yeah,
R?
ruminating. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a very characteristic.
yeah, people are ruminating, and it just doesn't stop. It's a nonstop, and to be honest, it's it's one of those things where it's a personal journey to try to recover from that, essentially. But yeah, it's a tough thing.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree.
It's definitely a tougher. I don't know. I've fallen into some traps. And then I just I find my way to get out of certain things, by distractions, So I don't know if I'm like delaying things, or it's
Yeah.
just, maybe I'm gonna fucking crash out heavy when I'm like 50, 60, maybe
Yeah, I
more.
think about that too, because honestly, one of the ways, like, I think about that all the time, actually, because, like, one of the things I think about is, like, okay, like, if I'm uncomfortable, I'll just distract myself, right? Whether it's, work, exercise, whatever it is. But, like, are you actually addressing the root of the problem, or are you running away from it? And I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is.
I'm like
Yeah,
a big I'm big on just like addressing problems the second I see them arise. Just because, like, yeah, I mean, I think pretty much everybody's had problems with kicking the can down the road on stuff, and I
Yeah.
find that if you address things early, you save yourself a lot more grief when you've addressed it early than when you wait and allow the problem to grow. I heard it's like a phrase I heard today was like whatever. I mean, that's basically it. So just like
it,
addressing stuff early, I think is like really
and
important for me.
I think the reduction aspect is good too, because what Ball said is because a lot of the times these kids, I don't know if if when you're going through some kind of things in your life, I don't know if you're just like hungover, or I don't know if you just haven't popped your pill. I don't know if you haven't, whatever. So sometimes people are having the chemical imbalances from drugs they're taking, or from other things
Yeah.
that then all of a sudden they think they're depressed, but really they don't know what a fucking withdrawal is, and they're so.
Yeah, I mean, removing distractions, removing, obviously substances,
Cell phone addiction is probably the root of a a lot of people's problems, and it's just it's a very, very dangerous tool, to be honest. Very, very dangerous. So
That's like the biggest, it's like the biggest drain on energy, I think. Like,
yeah,
and it's
stop.
just so difficult.
It could take your momentum away right away, or it can give you momentum. That's the scary part.
Yeah, but it gives you fake momentum, right? It's not like, it's bullshit dopamine, bullshit like motivation, these types of things. It's not like long lasting stuff.
Yeah, I mean exactly. So that's why it's a continuous dopamine hit that you need to get by. So
It's like a weird feedback loop in people's brains. Like they're like, it's like for like I don't know if you like all this like stuff that people get. They look at their phones and they just get mad at stuff that they look at, for example. And then pretty soon they start like manufacturing like victim complexes out of this like manufactured rage loop that they're on, which is like motivating like a lot of like the politics and a lot of politics in the country and stuff like that. A lot of like, for example, like a lot of the Trump stuff. For example, it's like I was watching this like Trump speech today, and like the way that this guy, he's in Michigan, so it came across my feed on Twitter.
your boy
And
Trump.
it's just like, yeah, it was like the way that he communicates with his audience. It's like it's in like such an aggrieved way that you would think that these people have been living in like a fucking death camp or something for the past 50 years. And he's like here to rescue them from like.
Are you saying
from
he's
like
coming in like, oh, like he's the savior type of thing?
yeah, or he's like playing off of their grievances. Like he was
Yeah.
like they're gonna take away your gas stoves and like
Yeah.
they're gonna try to restrict your water and like make it so that like you gotta like only you be rationing water to like 2 quarts a day or something like that. And I'm sitting here thinking like who does this work with? Because like we live in Michigan, or I live in Michigan anyway. It's like I've never fucking rationed water in my life. Like nobody's like there's nobody coming in and like telling me that I can't use a
Yeah.
fucking gas stove.
Here's
Exactly.
the thing.
Yeah, because you're trapped in this rage loop.
No.
Where
What
you think like
you're not
you think like the
understanding.
government's gonna come like take away your
So-
fucking like civil liberties and shit.
So
or like your
listen,
right to have a gas stove.
One of the topics today was the bottom of the list. It says, "Is AI regulating you already?" There's stories and reports right now that I think this was in Texas or someplace really hot, that it was really hot everywhere and everyone had their AC up and they needed to conserve energy, so they lost control to be able to turn their air conditioner on. It says, "Hey, we're conserving energy right now. You can't turn your AC on."
Yeah, because
And
their grid can't handle it.
AI, no. AI did that. AI detected it. Said, "Hey, things are too much." So what does that mean? The grid
What do you
can
hold
handle
on?
it?
Wait.
What does that mean? That means
It means that the grid doesn't have the output capacity to handle all the devices that are on it.
listen.
So for example, like all the EVs and stuff, they have like these big ass batteries.
They normally
Like,
would
they-
tell
like-
they normally would send you a message saying, "Hey, right now, please be cautious of your heat. Be responsible." They'll send you, and you have to make a decision as a customer, as a person. Are you gonna conserve it, or are you gonna just say F it?
Well, they're sending you that for reasons because you're gonna shut down power. If like if everybody just goes on unabated and doesn't make any adjustments to their behavior, then they're gonna lose power. Like they're gonna cook that grid.
So but it's always been your choice to make that decision.
They frame it that way, but it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a shared utility, and people need to think like that. Like especially these people in Texas.
No.
I think like
You'll get a
they think
high ass bill.
hyper-individualist way.
You'll just get a high ass bill when things are like that surging. Your bill's gonna be nasty. So, but you have a choice to
That's
pay
two
that
different
bill.
things.
You have a choice to pay that bill, or you have a choice to turn your heat off and conserve it and save your money. It's your choice. Now, when you have AI systems detecting it and not letting you turn your heat on, now what do you think the next steps are when it comes down to it?
Is there any proof that like
That
AI
happened.
is AI stopping you from turning down your thermostat?
That's happened, yes.
No, it
Just
hasn't.
recently.
I guarantee you it hasn't.
You want me
Show
to
me
bring
one
it up?
instance.
You want me to bring it
Yeah,
up?
show me an instance where AI has stopped somebody from turning down the thermostat.
We'll bring it up. Bala, do you have anything to add before when I'm bringing this up?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sorry, I was taking care of something, but yeah, I mean, look, I think AI is a very broad topic, but in terms of controlling your thermostat, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. AI, there's a lot of, I'm sure you guys all see it in your own day-to-day lives and workplaces, but we're seeing it affect every aspect of our lives. I think it's in its beginning stages. It's gonna get interesting to see how fast this progresses because we already see it like at work and it's going to be interesting to see like are we going to use it as a tool or is it going to make people lazy, right? You see people using it for writing, and I think that part of like thinking well is and writing well is like going through the tough process of writing. And then you see people just like writing full-blown articles using AI, like that's doing the thinking for you, you know. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this develops.
He just shows me Alex Jones. Oh my fucking god, this guy, man.
My guy, Alex Jones.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh no.
Let's bring him on the screen, baby.
Oh, this guy's raging.
I can't, like, this is, like, serious for you, or, like, this is what you actually
The
believe?
InfoWars guy, right? This is the guy from InfoWars?
Yeah.
Okay, so for you guys to hear this, I think I have to go on.
Okay, so basically he interviews, like, some schizo that thinks the AI turned on his thermostat.
All right, let me see if I because you know why it's not
Be
on.
rationed, but it's way worse.
Yo, this is
No.
what you
Just
literally
smart
believe,
meters.
dude. Like,
All
I don't
of the
think
cars
that's
in the
true.
Western world,
There's
from
no way
Australia to the
this
United
is
States,
like actually.
the governments have passed the
No,
same
it's
laws.
not.
They
It's
passed
Alex.
it
It's
last
freaking
year
Alex
here in the
Jones.
U.S.
Like, there's no
Biden
way.
did. It was his bill he supported.
So you guys are hating
Where
on my guy
trackers
Alex
are in your
Jones right
cars
now.
that are
before-
also kill switches
So I shouldn't even bring
that
it up because you guys
control
are
everywhere
skeptical.
you
I
go, what you
don't
do,
know
and
much
can
about
turn your
this guy,
car
but
off
the other
or
day I
tell
was
you where you can go in your
listening
car with
I don't know about that.
geofencing, just
I
like
was
drones
listening to
can't
this
fly.
Joe Rogan
I'm going to talk to you
podcast,
about a
and I
smart
remember
feature
one of the
called
comments he made
geofencing,
was,
which makes
yeah,
driving
Alex Jones, he's actually
Into an
right
AI
most of the
system
time.
that's
you know,
used to
just like-
control the world
So what
population
has this guy
through
actually
central
said
bank
that ended
digital
up being
currencies
true?
and a universal basic
A lot of
credit
things, man. Are you
score
joking?
that penalizes you for your
Like what?
I
political
think
and
he's
religious
been on the
beliefs,
wrong
or
side of,
simply
like,
the
everything for the
lifestyle
past,
that you
like, 10
lead.
years.
And now the public has begun to awaken to the
I'm asking honestly because I don't know much about him.
He's like one of these people that he just believes in a lot of conspiracy theories, like unfounded, and like just like he just has some very out there beliefs. Like he's like famous because he said the Sandy Hook massacre was a government hoax, and that was planned by Obama to take away the guns, and then he got in big trouble for that. And so basically, like a court fined him $1 billion with a B.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
he's
not
like,
go. Alpha. You're going and you're doing this trap with Alex. It hasn't the dumbest
it's not a
shit I've
trap.
ever
I'm
heard.
spitting
It's in
facts.
my
It's literally what happened.
Web Gems. It hasn't. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Listen, Web Gems. It has. It has. You're sitting. This guy's talking shit. Let me just tell you. Let me just tell you something. I don't just make shit
Hey,
up.
you're like the
Nor
only
does
guy.
Alex
You're
Jones.
like one of the only guys in America that takes Alex Jones seriously. Most people I watch Alex Jones because I think he's funny.
You guys
You
are,
watch him because you're actually taking it seriously.
okay. So
Like,
so listen.
stop.
I'm just letting you understand something that it'll be way more. It's way easier now to do this type of stuff. Like to
What? Do what stuff?
like the example with the guys with the power, the heat.
You haven't proved that AI turned down this guy's thermostat. You're just saying it because Alex Jones said it.
Because Alex
you're asking me
Jones
to
said
trust
it,
Alex
but
Jones
because
as an
Alex
authority.
Jones said it, you don't believe me. So I can't at this point. I'm not going to
Yeah,
show the
then
clip.
fine.
I'm not going to show the clip. If CNN
You
puts
just
it
showed
on,
the clip. You showed
if-
it the whole thing.
if CNN posts this, then we'll believe it. But when Alex Jones does not, listen, I'm not like an Alex Jones kind of guy. But when it's all said and done, he's been right on so many different occasions.
Hey, like what? I'm asking honestly.
Jeffrey
What has he been
Jeffrey Epstein's number one.
What was he
Okay.
right on with Epstein?
9/11's number two. You know, there's videos of Alex Jones saying in July, hey, just let you guys know, call the government and tell them stop the attack on the Trade Center. Call them and tell them stop because things are going down in September. He said who was going to do it, when it was going to go down, and it fucking happened.
When did he say it?
He said it in July of 2021, 6 months before it went down, 4 months before it went down.
It was 3 months, but okay.
Whatever.
So you telling me that Alex Jones predicted the 9/11 attacks?
Yes, and he not only predicted it, he told people, his listeners, call the government and tell them we know what you're doing. There's videos of this. So I'm not going to sit here and be. I'm not going to be a defender of Alex Jones.
Fishy stuff. There's like a lot of fishy stuff around 9/11. Obviously, like to say the least. Actually, I don't think that this guy predicted 9/11.
I'm not going to sit here since no one believes. You guys can do your own research, and then we can go.
I'll Google it right now.
You and Web Gems can go do your own research because guy wants to say this is the dumbest shit ever. This guy's in tech, I know this guy behind the scenes. If you don't think AI is going to be powerful enough to control your car, to control the traffic lights, and dictate what you can and can't do, you're mistaken. I know Ball Out has a lot of things that he does, but it's way past. It's way past just writing your essays.
Yeah, but it's not about can it do it, right? It could definitely do it. The question is like, are are there regulations to prevent it from doing it?
No, not right now. There's no laws. That's why right now it's the wild, wild west of AI. If you look at the music industry, and they're testing it right now with Drake when he puts out this song with Tupac that doesn't sound like Tupac, and Snoop Dogg, he wrote it and made AI do it. They put a cease and desist on him and he took it down. But he was like, right now they're playing with the laws. If you look at a lot of companies,
It's so fresh that like
it's too fresh.
It hasn't been cracked down on. I
Just
got you.
so if I'm a company and I'm using AI for my graphics and they're making me videos and they're making me stuff, okay, who owns that? Do I own it, or do the people, like, are they going to get royalties from it? So right now that's why a lot of the bigger like ad companies and stuff, they're not using AI or like publishing about what they're using AI, because you don't know who the rights are to this kind of stuff. So like, you don't know if down the line in 5 years they're gonna be like, you know what, we made that commercial, we need royalties. So
Yeah.
our AI made that for you. We're gonna claim that, or you have to say you use this. So right now it's in the next couple of years, the laws and stuff are going to get passed. And if you don't think they're going to be passing laws of controlling and with people, go look at the company Palantir and go look what they're all about. Web gems. Go look at that.
What are
Web
they about?
gems.
You spit out like 1,000 buzzwords that aren't connected in any way.
It is, all of it's connected. Palantir.
No, it's not.
Palantir
What is Palantir? Yeah.
Palantir is a software company that's it's sophisticated enough. If I'm in my car, please pulls me over. I'm gonna be like, man, I just left my house. I had to forgot. He's like, no, you didn't. You just left the bar because you were with X, Y, and Z. Because they'll be able to trace who you were with, where you were at the spot, right then and there, just by cell phone data and connecting you with whoever you were with. That's just one.
So you're saying, fundamentally, you're saying that AI is gonna basically make privacy non-existent.
Oh, it's done. Yeah. If you thought right now AI is gonna make it way worse, way worse. That's all gonna be the next 10 years. That's a 10-year scope of things. Right now things are still it's accelerating really fast, but in the future it's gonna be like RoboCop shit, bro. I'm dead serious. Like Terminator. This isn't just some conspiracy stuff. I've been heavy on AI since the month it came out.
I mean, it's interesting to think about AI in the sense of kind of like what Alpha was saying earlier with the where people get their news source. And if there's like an AI just feeding you, if there's an AI controlling what's being fed to you, you're kind of controlling your future actions in a sense, indirectly, or your thoughts,
100%.
It kind of is like if you go on Twitter and then you look at like your For You page, if you don't like there's two tabs on Twitter. Obviously there's the For You and there's like the people who you actually follow. If you go to For You, it's just all curated bullshit. Basically the way that Musk organizes the algorithm is that it's designed to show you adversarial views because he thinks that it's gonna like balance out your existing views. So like basically it's just like one tab is built to drive you insane and then the other tab is like the stuff that you actually want to see. So
how would they know what you don't want to see, just based on like what you do want to see?
Yeah, so they probably have some machine learning,
the opposite of what you do want to see, kind of.
Yeah, they'll show you the literal opposite. So they'll like look at all of the tweets that you're looking at, and like probably some machine learning algorithm sorts you into a bucket. This is okay. This person really likes to see stuff where that people say that Israel is an apartheid state. Okay.
Yeah.
So then they'll be like, okay, this person likes this. So we'll put him into the bucket of Palestine supporter, and then it knows that who's that Palestine supporter? It's Israel supporter, and so they'll show you what you're like pro-Israel.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
mean, it's like inorganic, It's, I don't know.
It's gonna be who are you talking to? It's gonna be like who the person you're talking to. If it's online, are you gonna trust it's the real person, or is it's gonna be an AI person?
It all goes back to what we were originally talking about. Like, so like when Trump won in 2016, he won, he beat the odds basically, because like basically the whole media was against Trump. Like they couldn't stop talking about him, but they couldn't stop talking about how bad he was basically. And so when he actually beat Hillary, who's like this like kind of like the if you think of like the United States as like this like establishment of politicians and media and military and all this stuff, like that's like all like kind of like one hive mind. When an outsider won, basically they went to thinking about like how the heck could this have possibly happened? How does dude generate enough of a consensus while we were 24 talking about how bad he was. And it's they looked at social media basically. It's like, okay, social media has eclipsed traditional media in terms of influence because this dude came from the outside, from the complete outside. All we did was just publish bad article, bad news story after bad news story on this guy, and he still beat this person that was supposed to win the election by a layup, according to our own system that we've been living in for decades.
And you
And so
think that helped them, though? You think the criticism actually like propelled them?
No, I'm saying he won in spite of the criticism. And so, like, we were talking about how, you know, they're banning TikTok and all this other stuff, right? Well, before they banned TikTok, they regulated all the existing social media platforms. So there was this big push to regulate disinformation on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all this other stuff. I don't know if you guys remember this, but basically, like, there were all these congressional hearings around social media, and they were scrutinizing the algorithms across like pretty much every single social media website, talking about like, hey, you're pushing fake news to boomers, and because of that, you're warping the way that they view the world, and this has to stop. You need to put stuff in place to have anti-fake news stuff, anti-fake news protocol, so that way you're not like basically destroying the brains of people. In their view, destroying the brains of people. Basically making it way more difficult to manufacture a consensus. So like the people who they want to win just aren't winning. So I mean, this stuff is like just like not new. It's just something that's been around, and it's coming to like TikTok and stuff like that now. Because they weren't able to do it with TikTok because they couldn't do it with TikTok because it's, in their view, it's because it's Chinese owned, so they don't have the same influence that they have over like Twitter or Facebook, which operate out of the United States.
Algorithms have always been made from machine learning. When you incorporate AI, it becomes like steroids. But everybody keeps saying the AGI, right? That at that point,
AI is machine learning.
It is, but I'm saying it's like on steroids. So AGI is something that's like triple, quadruple. It's to the point where the AI is going to say, you know what, you don't need to be seeing this anymore. It's going to make decisions based on what it thinks is best. And at that point, you're going to be fully trusting an artificial intelligence dictate what you want to see and what you don't want to see. And they're going to be controlled by who? The social media companies. So it's going to get bad.
It's controlled by anybody. That's why it's scary.
Web Gems, you look like a guy who drives a fucking Tesla, by the way. So you think when you're in your Tesla driving, going to work, let's say, you're OJ. Pretend Web Gems is OJ. He just did something. And now they see his Tesla. And now he's on the run in his Tesla.
Who's Web Gems?
All right. Now Web Gems.
Hilarious.
Web Gems is in his Tesla driving to work, but he just did something crazy. Now the feds are after him. Web Gems is the dumbest shit I've ever. Web Gems is in the car, is in his car driving. Oh, there he is. He's in his Tesla. Let's turn that bitch off. Now Web Gems is thinking he's getting away with the police in his Tesla, and guess what? They turned his car off. You think that's the dumbest you ever heard, Web Gems? You think that's dumb? That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. You're a guy who drives a Tesla, Web Gems. I see it in you. I know you were invited on the stream. You could have came on and said that. Hiding behind the chat. Guy fucking working me up right now.
Who is Web Gems?
Web Gems will be revealed. He's trying to be the manager, but I'm like, bro, you keep on critiquing the stream aggressively.
Wait, what does him driving a Tesla have to do with anything?
Because him driving a Tesla is just an example that when you're in an electric vehicle, is on the grid, you can turn that off. You can turn off that car. You're not in control anymore. Once it gets down to that, that's going to be one of the laws they're going to pass by that no one's going to see. They're going to put it under a layer of laws that it's going to allow police to be able to just turn off any car that's electrical car or that's controlled like that. Because Web Gems is OJ. I said let's pretend Web Gems is OJ on the run. They got to stop him, bro. They got to stop him.
They can stop you in a ICE car.
Right, but then you're going to cause so much damage, destruction, all this, blah, blah. They don't want that clean up. They're just going to turn his car off.
Like an EV is not like magic, right? It doesn't like run from the internet. It runs because it has a big ass battery on it.
Yes, it has a big ass battery that can be turned off.
If it's not connected to the internet, how would it be turned off?
Every car essentially would be, because it's like Palantir. They'll detect it, find it, turn that bitch off. I'm just saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm speaking 10 years, guys. I'm a futuristic, conversation right now. I get it. Everyone right now we're living in this dawn age of AI and stuff like that. But things move fast, bro. And
Honestly, I'll let you in on the secret. Like, as long as the car is connected to the internet, if it was connected to the internet, they could turn it off however they wanted to turn it off. Like, let's
okay,
say, like,
Even if it's gas, like they can fuck up the electric part of it that is
yeah, they could
responsible.
just make it not. They could just make it. They could just like fuck with that. They could fuck with the way that the engine fires. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to fire the. Like, it doesn't have to like respond anymore.
Doesn't have to have an electric engine for you to fuck up the electric part that keeps the
Yeah,
gas.
the reason why electric cars are so much more associated with AI and with self-driving is because they're simpler than ICE. Because ICE has a lot of variables that aren't as easily controlled, and it has more parts. The EV has like way fewer parts, and so it's easier to program for a computer, and it's more, and so it's also, again, there's like just fewer variables you have to think about when you're programming for it. Like, if they want to turn off your ICE car, they could, if it was connected to the internet, for example, right? Like, you have it on data, they could do the same thing to you if they wanted to. And it actually had the programming for like a kill switch. They could absolutely do that.
Yes, but
Yeah.
in the future, it could be an AI talking to it saying, "Hey, turn this bitch off. This guy's on the road." They could detect, oh, something's going on. Turn it off. It's gonna get to a point where we could be controlled by artificial intelligence, and I think the higher elite, if you can find mechanisms to control the masses, they're all about it, and they'll figure out a way for they don't get. They'll figure out ways where the normies suffer from it. You know what I mean? And that's just me talking. I'm a conspiracy. I got Alex Jones on the screen. You know what I mean? I don't know.
How do you want to prevent? How do you want to prevent that, Abe? How do you want to prevent
I'm
like
full throttle
like
AI. I'm full.
plutocrats from taking over and exploiting the masses? How do you want to prevent that?
It's
Let's talk solutions. Let's not be
solutions is
victims here. Let's talk solutions.
solutions is this. The whole reason the stream is happening and we're doing the stream and we're doing all that is because of AI. That's the secret, right? The only reason I'm doing this is because of AI. That's it. If it wasn't for AI, I wouldn't do none of this shit. 100%. So when AI,
Why is AI telling you to do this right now?
with AI, I'm able to do this on a 10x scale, simplistic scale, where I can do this. I can chop up. I can chop them all up, all the clips, post them. They give me titles, all this, blah blah. And then if I need topics, we can get topics from there. If I need voices, we got voices from there. If we want skits, we can do that as well. So without AI, I 100% wouldn't be doing this. Like, this whole thing is AI play behind the scenes. I don't want to reveal all the secrets, but go look around. You think I'm the only person? If I learned one thing in life, if I'm doing something, that means there's a fucking train of people who are doing it too. So there's gonna be a 10x more YouTubers and people doing content like this just on the base of the AI wave. That's how I'm. That's that. Like, I have to be fully. You got to kind of be fully invested into the futuristic world, and you got to kind of play the game. So that's kind of what I'm
So you're
doing.
just saying that AI is just making clips from this footage and giving you some titles.
It gives me titles. It also chops the videos up. When it comes down to, like, when I cut them up, I put them into this thing. It chops up all the silence parts, so I don't have to, before that. Every time you do something like that, if I have a video, it's like $500 for editors, clips, and doing all that. It takes time, energy, resources. So you got to think of the money I'm saving. But we did 10 episodes. We did 15 episodes, so 16 episodes so far this season. Imagine I got to pay somebody to edit 16 videos, chop up 16 videos, and post them. You need 2-3 people for that. So
All right, I gotta head out.
all right, Ball. I think
log in there.
first time on the call, you killed it. You killed it, bro. The chat loved you.
Yeah, bro. Great combo, guys. We'll talk
All right,
soon.
man. See you later.
All right,
Yeah,
Ball
All
out.
right, take care.
Listen. You got to give Alex Jones though. You got to open up you got to give him a chance. You know what I mean?
I'm not completely like anti Alex Jones. I just know that he's unreliable and that he's like reflexively skeptical, and for that reason, I don't believe him the first time he says stuff, and I don't view him as a reliable source. Has he been right about some certain things? Like, yeah, I think he's probably been right. I think he's been right when like mainstream opinion was wrong, probably, and there's probably more than one occasion that that's happened. But does that mean that I just believe him? Like, no. I also don't think he understands AI because he's like an old boomer, and like, I don't know. He's weird.
What day is it? It's gonna be the 2nd tomorrow. I'll send an email after this. But yeah, let's see here. We had a good chat, right? And we had a good chat. This thing. How'd everything go with all your other shit? You free?
No, I'm not. I finished my semester on Sunday night.
Man, I keep missing these times. I thought it was gonna be way that it was way done. Or
No.
if it has been done.
No, it's not. I finish Sunday night, and then I have 3 weeks off. Basically, it should be good. So then I start back up on the 28th.
Yeah, we got some big things playing the last month of the stream, bro. You know, we got one more month of season 3. We got after this one, we got 3 more Alpha Wednesdays, and then I got a couple more things lined up. But overall, so far, it's been a good season. So, you know, we're kind of we're not ready for it to be wrapped up, but we're beat up over here. Can't wait to do the break.
That's what's up. All right. Well,
I'm gonna go in a minute for everybody who thinks I'm a fucking YouTuber, who thinks, because you think I'm repetitive, Alpha. They're calling me repetitive, X, Y, and Z. For everybody giving me these comments, all that, I'm not a fucking YouTuber, nor will we ever be a YouTuber. Our shit goes everywhere. You think I'm? If I Web Gems, Web Gems hit me with a lot of critiques. So
I've only seen Web Gems. He's only spoken twice, and he said,
behind the scenes, you know, we do other streams where he comes in, like the gaming streams. He's always in the gaming streams trying to like fucking get me wild up. But for everyone who thinks I'm a YouTuber, for, you know,
who is Web Gems though?
Maybe we'll reveal it to you behind the scenes. I'll you know, I don't know if he wants to reveal himself yet. I told him to get on the stream first, but you know, we're not YouTubers here. We're not YouTubers here. We don't plan things. We don't, you know, everything is scripted. Don't get it twisted. Everything is scripted. I'm not gonna sit here. I have 7 other things to do during my day. I'm not gonna sit here and like cross my face. We got one shot over here. Whatever we do, we're just gonna one shot take it. We're Jay-Z over here, you know. That's what we're gonna do. So we're one take, one shot. If it comes out good, it comes out good. If it's not, it is what it is. We did our thing. But there's a lot of critiques about saying that. So, you know, I just had to get it out there that we're not really we're not your average, like, you know, guys trying to get famous. I don't want to make money from this shit. Most of the time, we don't monetize the videos because we play music or something in the background or something, or we're cussing, we're doing all this extra shit. So it's not like this is a money play. You know, so don't get it twisted over here. I'm gonna go on a rant a different time, but you know, I just had to kind of fire off that for Web Gems. He kind of hyped me up with that dumbass comment he said.
All right, nice.
All right, Alpha. I might take the day off for stream tomorrow. We'll see what we're gonna do, but maybe the weekend we'll pop something off. Well, you're probably gonna be booked out till Sunday, so if we don't see each other next Alpha Wednesday. We'll try to. I think there's gonna be a bigger panel. A lot of people today had vacations, had things come up, so no problem. Ballo stepped in, he held it down, he snapped, he went fire. I forgot to tell Dr. CB to look up Dr. CB, but we'll take care of that. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll hit you up. We're gonna wrap up the stream, guys. We're gonna get some Warzone right now. The guys are on Warzone. We're gonna go Warzone back.